live.
Boom!
Woo!
We're live. Hey, babe.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to What's Happening in Central Oregon, our every other week live stream where we talk about things that are happening in Central Oregon, kind of related to real estate development. Yeah, but sometimes some other like recreational stuff too. We like to say from recreation to real estate is what we got here for you. So,
Exactly.
Anyway, welcome. Like we like to do always right at the top, we want to know where you're watching in from, where you're tuning in from, and if you could leave that down in the comment section below, we would love to know where you're from. Let's see here. Boom. That's what it says there. Live stream. And leave your comment in the chat.
What are you, Vanna Whiting?
There it is. It's rolling across the bottom. And we also usually kind of delay a little while people tune in. So the next one is let us know where you're watching from. And comments, people. There we go. Are you local? You're from out of the area? Yada, yada, yada. We've got a really cool show today because there's a thing happening right now, and I'm actually shocked that there isn't more news coverage on it.
There's zip.
Almost none. We did find two articles that were, one of them was earlier in the whole month, actually last month, and one of them was just a couple days ago. But there's a big thing happening right now with housing and affordable housing, and it's not getting any coverage. So we're going to cover it, and everyone else can just, they'll report on it tomorrow, I'm sure, because tomorrow is when the thing's happening. So anyway,
better late than never.
Yeah. So, all right, go ahead and throw in your comments down below, questions if you've got questions. We will get to them at the end of the show. We do a little Q&A if anybody's got any. It's okay if not, no big deal. All right, I'm going to hide that. Senate Bill 1537. It's an affordable housing bill, and this is really interesting. We'll do a little context early on. Housing is something that is, how do I put this? Housing is something that the Oregon Association of Realtors and the Central Oregon, all the different associations across the state, we typically fight politically against the state because they're usually trying to limit housing, limit where we can build, how we can build. Kind of they're kind of the brakes, and we're like, we need to build more homes.
That's also kind of one of those things that people think that the builders determine what can be built on their lots. So they go and they buy a huge chunk of land, and then they go to the city, and also with state regulations, that determines how many homes and what kind of homes can go on those lots. So tiny lots, more vertical housing, more density.
Yeah, more density, more condos, stuff
more
like that.
Condos.
And that's actually what we talked about last 2 weeks ago, right? We talked about the climate friendly and equitable to communities, basically rules or umbrella of rules that is just trying to get more density, like we said, right? More urban areas, more density. However, the new governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek, has made affordable housing kind of one of their main priorities of this legislative session, which is actually awesome. I don't know that we've really gotten along too much with other policies. This one has been right on. And I was actually in a kind of a meet and greet with one of our Oregon legislators about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. And they said that this current short session it is their number one priority, is this Senate bill. What did I say? 1537. I want to make sure I get the 5 and the 3. I'm a little ambidextrous sometimes.
Ambidextrous?
That's not the right word. Dyslexic. So anyway, basically, everybody thought that this was going to be a big yes. We had heard it. I had heard it months ago. Like I said, it's their number one priority is to pass this bill and the 109, the law about all the legalization of drugs. Those are the two things that they're working on getting through.
Isn't that removing?
Yeah, removing the legalization of drugs because they made everything legal, and we got all sorts of issues with that too. But we're not going to touch on that kind of topic with this live stream. Anyway, point is, this is an issue that's coming up. There's a hearing tomorrow, and I was under the impression that everybody kind of, we'll talk about what the bill it is. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I was under the impression this was an easy yes, and this was going to get voted in. No big deal, because both on the right and the left understand the need for more affordable housing in the area, and that's what this aims to serve. However, we've been getting bombarded as realtors. We've been getting bombarded by activist groups that are telling us, "Hey, we need your support." Email your legislators, call your legislators, let them know you support 1537, because we're starting to get pushback now all of a sudden. So anyway, let's go ahead and
what is it about?
Well, we got to do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Let's do that. Let's go here. Now let's go. Let's do that. There we go. All right. So that's not the right one. Kotek touts bill to facilitate housing development. This is one article that I did find on what's it called? The DJC. It has a name. Anyway, point is, Senate Bill 1537 is trying to allow municipalities, cities to bring more land into their UGB. That's one of many things that this bill.
And remember, the UGB is the urban growth boundary.
Correct. Yeah. Cities in general. Okay, we touched on that too. This is important. This is an important thing. We're gonna do a whole video on just UGB, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
The slang terms of real estate.
Yeah, if you're watching from outside the area, if you're watching from another state or whatever, looking to relocate here in Oregon, you cannot develop outside of what's called the UGB. Every city has their own UGB and city limits, but the UGB and the city limits are pretty like they overlap. They're almost exactly the same, but sometimes they're a little bit.
Yeah. So you can't go out of the UGB and buy a 200-acre farm and turn it into a neighborhood.
Correct.
That just is not allowed.
And the environmental groups that are, again, in opposition to this particular bill, are saying that they don't want urban sprawl. They don't want us to be able to just, develop all over the place. And so they're pushing back right now. And this Senate bill is basically, it's got many different avenues that are going to help let's go back to the screen there. There we go. Decades of underbuilding have left Oregon with a severe housing shortage that is driving up rents, home prices, and worsening our homelessness crisis, Kotek stated. Yes, I agree. People that are ready to transition out of homelessness struggle to find housing. Meanwhile, employers, both public and private, in Oregon struggle to hire due to lack of workforce housing for rent or purchase, harming local economies across the state.
That's very true.
Amen. So, look, yeah, we definitely have an issue here. This is not an issue that we shy from. It's definitely an issue that we have a lot of compassion for. It's just a very important issue. So basically, this is a $500 million investment package in this Senate Bill 1537. It's going to come from existing state resources. $200 million in housing infrastructure financing, $200 million in moderate income housing financing, $40 million in site acquisition, $20 million in climate-friendly incentive funding, $10 million in site mitigation readiness, $10 million in local housing planning technical assistance funding. There's all kinds of dollars in here, but really one of the things that we think is the easiest. What do you got? What?
Oh, keep going.
Is that it allows cities, municipalities, kind of like this one-off opportunity to expand the UGB. Now, expanding the UGB normally is really difficult. It takes years and years and years of
10
planning.
years.
Yeah, and it can only happen every 15 years, maybe 20 years.
Like the last time we did that, they used up all the UGB in a year and a half?
Oh, so fast.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be 20 years of growth. It's 15 years, 20 years of growth.
What I thought was interesting was one of the stats. It might be on that one, but am I skipping ahead?
No, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
We're short 140,000 units needed for the current population.
Yeah, here we go. Currently, 140,000 Oregon households cannot find housing due to decades of underproduction.
Yeah.
Right?
We need to produce 580,000 housing units by 2040.
Can you imagine?
No. I mean, and that's all for the whole state of Oregon.
Right.
But still, I mean, we're we don't have enough inventory here in Bend or in Central Oregon per se. And I mean, the last time we wrote an offer, which was just like a few days ago, and there was 5 offers already on the home.
There's 6.
6.
We were the 7th.
Oh,
so 7 total.
7. Didn't know about those 2 sneakers there. I didn't write that. He wrote that. But I mean, we're already back to, in certain price points.
Yeah, multiple offers.
Multiple offers.
Yeah.
And you know, from my perspective, that makes a horrible buying experience for buyers and also a very stressful situation for sellers too.
Yeah.
And it's just an all around, I just would love for it not to be that way. I mean, I'm good for competition, but there's a point where it's just too much.
So one of the other things that they're doing in here with this UGB kind of expansion, this kind of one-off, is that 30% of the homes that are brought into the UGB based on this kind of one-off expansion has to be preserved or regulated for affordable housing, which is great because I mean, we need affordable housing, but we need housing total. Like we need all kinds of housing, really. I mean, we need everything, but obviously we need affordable housing as well. And so it's got kind of, restrictions. So we can't just bring in, 100 acres and make it all luxury homes. We've got to make it affordable, which is another really great thing. Again, there are environmental groups out there that are against this right now, that are fighting this, that are pushing back. And apparently in one of the letters that we got, they've had basically 8 major concerns. And even though the Oregon Association of Realtors sitting, next to Tina Kotek and all the legislators going through this bill, they have addressed 7, basically almost all of their issues, 7 of their 8 major key issues. They are still fighting back, and now they're all troops are coming at us, coming at the legislature saying, don't pass this. I think it will. There is a hearing tomorrow. I think it'll pass. There's a hearing tomorrow. We've got boots on the ground, and we're, again, we're trying. Yeah. Right here. Legislator now being flooded with and I'm not showing it again. I got to show it. I got to be better at this. Right here. Legislators are now being flooded with anti-Senate Bill 1537 messages, and it's time for us to respond. It's not a major threat to Oregon. It's actually what we need. I mean, could you imagine if, look, we know housing is expensive, but geez,
the number one issue that Oregonians have said is that 76% of all Oregonians said that there's not enough housing in Oregon for people. So
with moderate incomes, not even low incomes, like moderate incomes, right? And 67% of Oregonians prioritize building more housing to meet the budgets and preferences of Oregonians over preserving land to reduce carbon emissions. Check this out. There was a poll actually that was basically funded and put on by the National Association of Realtors. Where is it? Oh, really? It's gone. I had it up here.
I thought you had it.
Oh, it's right down here. There it is. Bang.
Yeah.
This is a poll. Ooh, I remember this. This is a poll that happened, and it was a local poll here in Oregon. There were 700 respondents, and
it was a paid for poll by a reputable company.
Well, it was the National Association of Realtors that put it on.
Yeah, right? They paid American for it by
this is a professional polling company. Yeah, and out of 700 respondents, 84% of them said that affordability is a problem, is a very important problem, a fairly big problem right here, right? And well, obviously it is, right? And so what's interesting is that even if you look at the demographic makeup of this poll, which is actually at the bottom, it pretty much lines up with state politics. I mean, it's slightly left-leaning, more Democrats than Republicans are here, a lot of independents in the middle. It was a very well spread out poll across these 700 respondents. So, you might think that the results are maybe a little bit more left-leaning as well, as when it comes to housing makeup and what they're looking for. Remember, the left-leaning Oregon legislature is pushing density and urbanization and, conservation of, greenhouse emissions and stuff like that. However, even in a very balanced poll politically with what is out here in Oregon, the reality is 23% in one of these poll questions, gosh, I gotta have to find it, but basically 23% said that they are in favor of living in more of one of those, denser kind of condo type ish communities. And 75% would rather be in a suburb, single family detached, and have to drive to those conveniences.
Yeah.
75%. It's not like 49-51. It's 75% would actually rather have space. Mm-hmm. Right here, this is another one right now. If you could choose in which of the following house types would you prefer to live in, 79% said detached single family homes. Mm-hmm. 5% said townhouse, and then 4%, 3%, 8% said something else, or mid, low rise, high rise.
Yeah.
People want single family detached.
Yeah.
They just do. And
with a triple car garage.
We say that all the time, right? We get clients all the time. They say that's what they want. And this is proof, this is the proof there in the pudding. And so hopefully, we've got people commenting on our channel. It says, yes, condos are great. We've had all other people that say, no, absolutely not. We want single family residences. We want to live in those neighborhoods with the wide yards and stuff. And that's what we hear more often.
Oh, 100%.
Is that people want to live.
We hear, why are the yards so small?
Yeah, all the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's made for a Yorkie, not a Malamute.
Yes. Well, we don't want it to be that way, but that is what it is. So
you got to downsize the dog.
So anyway, I think that there's definitely something to, hopefully this bill passes.
This is really important, and it's a good awareness for everybody.
Yeah. So if you want, reach out to your, your state senator and let them know today, tomorrow. I don't know if there's going to I don't know if they're having a vote tomorrow. Tomorrow's a hearing. Mm-hmm. I don't know quite enough about politics and understand how that works. But yes. Can we shift kind of a really weird subject here?
Sure.
Because it's another kind of political one. Dang it. We try to stay away from this, but okay. Someone's gonna watch this and be like, oh boy, they went after it. I saw this yesterday and I just kind of cracked me up because yes, the state of Oregon has a homeless problem. I mean, we have a home affordability problem, no doubt, but also we have a homelessness problem. And even though, it seems like it's getting better in certain communities, seems like it's getting better in Bend, although sometimes it's just kind of hidden. It's still a big problem. And so I found this article just kind of funny to me. Kotek cites homeless problem progress after a disappointing PSU report. Okay. So, sorry. Despite increased government spending, both homelessness and the shortage of shelter beds in Oregon grew in 2023. The growth is documented in an annual report by Portland State University's Homelessness Research and Action Collaborative, released Friday, February 2nd, just this is a few days ago. It found total number of homeless people in the state increased 8.5%, and the number of unsheltered homeless people increased 17% in 2022. Okay, well, this data makes...
That's technically... It went down?
Well, no, it increased homeless people overall.
Increased over 17.
Yes.
Okay.
The total number of homeless people in the state increased by 8.5%. The number of unsheltered homeless people increased by 17%. So more people overall, and more people that are completely unsheltered, which means they're not going to any of the provided shelters.
Gotcha.
The state, it makes it clear that we must provide enough services in our cities while also ensuring that small towns and rural areas receive essential support. Hang on. I just don't understand this, but it's sobering as these numbers are. We can alleviate homelessness if we can come together as a community, implement evidence-based, equity-centered practices at the needed scale. Now, mind you, at the needed scale, they have spent, look at this down here. They have spent billions. They spent $285 million.
58 million.
$258 million affordable housing bond approved by Portland voters in 2016. Okay, affordable housing bond approved. 652 million affordable housing bond approved by Metro voters in 2018. $250 million of supportive housing services. Tens of millions of dollars in additional
That was in
funding.
2020. Holy cow. Yeah.
They have spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on basically homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem's getting worse.
Yeah.
Worse. But their quote is, we just need to do more.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to spend more. I can't believe it. Days after the report was released, Oregon Housing and Community Services released data showing that progress to reduce homelessness was being made. In February 6th press release, the agency said, February 6th, this is 4 days after this Portland State report came out, the agency said the state had exceeded all 3 goals set by Governor Tina Kotek in the homelessness state of emergency she signed on her first full day of office. What goals could they have set where they were going backwards?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Look, again, there's a problem with housing prices, but we cannot continue to. This is actually a great example of how we cannot continue to force people into more expensive homes by continuing to densify and restrict what can be built. We need to just bust open the doors. This Senate Bill 1537 should be even more open to allowing people to build. And because the more land
build
that's
what kind of homes that are actually in demand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem. So again, look, hats off to Tina Kotek for trying to get this other bill going, and we certainly hope it passes.
Mm-hmm.
And this one here, because if it doesn't, we're still stuck. So
yeah.
Okay, we can stop talking about that now.
Yeah. I don't know the answer to it. It is definitely an issue, and I mean, it's not something that. I mean, we have it here in Bend. We have it in other towns in Central Oregon, and I don't know the answer. But that doesn't seem to be working. But, and then it goes to our next article, which is exactly what we're trying to sidestep around.
Well, I didn't put up a banner for this one. The next one we were going to talk about.
Some new condos coming to town.
Got some new condos coming up.
Condos.
Look at here. New condos coming up. Bend condos under construction start at $1.2 million. That's expensive for a condo.
It comes with a 2-car garage.
Yeah, see, that's cool. That's cool.
2-car garage
to downtown. It's luxury living right here. This is something that I didn't necessarily want to spend a long time on. It's funny because I actually went to the planning application area here where I usually kind of do our research, and there's just like nothing here. It's like that's it. That's what you get.
So there's 6 of them?
On this plan. I think there's 2 different ones. I think there's one on Riverside and there's one on McCann. There's 2 different lots. But there really wasn't a whole lot of information on there.
Okay. And they're 1,600 square feet?
Yeah.
Condos?
Yeah. 1,600 square feet. 2-car garage. Actually, they're 3 2.5 baths. Which is big. Cool. They're big.
I mean, they are 1,600 square feet.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, the units will range between 1.2 to 1.4.
Yeah. Interesting. First of 8 units along McCann Avenue. Construction began June of 2023. So they're already out. That's them. They're already there. So it's so strange. There's no information on the county records about this. There's not much.
Is that a good sign or a bad sign?
I don't know.
So interesting. Okay.
A couple other stories we wanted to talk about. Actually, really the only other last story that we wanted to talk about that I thought was kind of interesting. The U.S. Highway 97 North Corridor. We've talked about this before. It's actually it's on schedule to be completed by the end of the year.
No way. Really?
It says it right there. Isn't that crazy?
No way.
No way. Man, this is a $177 million corridor project. It's basically rewriting Highway 97 around the Cascade Village shopping center because that's become a complete cluster.
It's absolutely like crazy to drive through there because I mean they're clearing that through and now you can see all the way down to like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
and
wild.
From like the Empire exit, and even they've cleared all of the ground for Costco too.
Yeah,
there's a big sign for Costco right there, which is exciting. I mean, it's great that they can end this by 2024 because then traffic will flow better.
Yes. 40,000 vehicles pass through that area every day.
I believe it.
Every day.
That's, yeah. I mean, 8 a.m. driving towards Redmond. Well, you want to be driving towards Redmond. You don't want to be driving towards Bend at that hour.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's stopped for miles.
Yes. So especially.
But I mean, we can't really complain about our congestion. I mean, we got to have a little perspective here. So it's like
100%. No. That they actually claim they've been working on this for over a decade, and I don't necessarily know about that.
Well, a lot of planning.
Well, they asked that. There was a survey just a couple of years ago. It feels like maybe it was 5 about what should we do with this part of town. Is this a problem? And we all said yes. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll do something about it. So anyway, around $123 million of the project's $177 million has already been spent. And they are actually in good shape to get this thing wrapped up by the end of 2024. Now that's 10 months away. So it's still a long time. And it's been absolutely just a war zone recently. There's just so much going on. It's a nightmare. But I'm really excited. You're right.
That's very dramatic.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I am excited that it's going to be
Johnny Drama.
Oh dear. Okay.
I know you bring me on here. I don't know why.
I love it. Guys, what are some other things that you would like to know about? Let us know in the comments. If you want to know more about other developments that are coming soon, if you want to know more about, just
did we get too off topic today?
Yeah. If we just want to know more about things to do in town, what's going on, what's happening. Central Oregon is we talk a lot about real estate development news, but if you just want to know more about places to go eat, let us know. Watering holes. Maybe you and I can go on more dates.
Oh, there we go. How are we going to take our podcast with us on dates?
Well, I don't know, but I don't know. We can report back. Okay. Should we wrap that up?
Yeah. We
really rambled today.
We did.
All right. Guys, thanks so much for watching. You know how it goes. If you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, we would love to be your local real estate resource of choice. And you can always find our information at chromerealestate.com where you can reach out. We would love to hear from you. And I think that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Join us in 2 weeks. We might have a guest on.
Ooh.
Yeah. Maybe.
Who is it?
Shh, I can't say.
What?
I can't say.
I don't even know.
We might have a guest on.
Oh, gosh.
Thanks, guys, so much for watching. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, or we'll probably see you in the next YouTube video that you click on. All right?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.